I don't.
No, but I think
He's a wide receiver, too.
Adam Thielen can help.
He's always been a wide
I think Adam Thielen type receiver, like a good veteran receiver, can help a rookie quarterback adjust to the league. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I see your point.
Okay, that's we're
That
done.
sounds yeah.
All right, CJ Gardner Johnson, 1 year, $8 million to the Lions.
I mean, it's a good pickup. I think the Lions are on the rise.
They are.
Lions are definitely on the rise. I think, they're a very young team. I think, let's say 3 years down the road, they're a contender. I think they're a contender 2-3 years down the road.
They're gonna win the division
I like
next year.
that. I like that.
They're gonna win the division next
I
year.
think
I like
I think the moves that they've been making over the years,
Last couple
obviously, they were a terrible franchise, but I think the pieces that they're bringing, like they're gonna put it together.
They have the
Yeah,
best
for
roster in
sure.
that division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just need a little more experience before they get to the caliber of where you're talking like
I mean,
competing for a top spot in the league.
I think
So,
if
but
they
I
had
think they're very
they
close.
had a little bit better of quarterback play, I think this is a
Jared Goff was
team.
surprisingly
He was good last year. I'll
He
give
was
him credit.
surprisingly
Yes, he
good.
was very
definitely
good.
deserves credit.
But if he
Michigan State lost.
but if he could step it up just a little bit,
I know.
if he could step, this team's winning a playoff game. And like I love Dan Campbell. He's a,
Yeah, Dan Campbell's a
he's a
really good
motivation.
coach.
I mean,
He knows how to
they
motivate his players.
almost
so
released
well.
him as their coach too.
Really?
Yeah, last year.
I
He
would not
knows
be
how to motivate his
surprised.
They
players.
started out what 1-6 last year.
Yeah, they were bad.
And
I
then
would
they-
not be surprised if they're in the NFC title game next year.
I love
I'm
that.
going-
too.
That's a
I
bold
love-
prediction.
I love their-
I
listen to their
love
offense.
that. I love
Okay,
that.
Jared Goff. Last
It
year,
depends on what Jared Goff you get.
if
It
you
really
get
does.
If we
Jared
get
Goff,
Jared Goff,
but you have Jamison
last year,
Williams, Amon St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery.
On the defensive end, you're gonna have Hutchinson have another big year. Hutchinson was really good last year.
Yes, and then adding CJ Gardner to that secondary. Jeff Okuda, obviously, he was like a third overall pick. I think he has potential to have a big year for them.
I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be on the rise for sure.
I like this team.
I do too. All right, Dalton Schultz, 1 year up to $9 million, to the Texans. And also, we'll talk while we're talking Texans. Devin Singletary, 1 year, $3,750,000 to the Texans as well. So I like the Dalton Schultz signing. I think he's an underrated tight end in the league. But I don't think they really have the quarterback play to support it as of right now. I think Dalton Schultz going from Dak Prescott to Davis Mills, assuming that's their starting quarterback next year, which who knows. But let's say that's the case. I think that's certainly a downgrade in quarterbacks. But is the stream back up?
Yeah, the stream's back up, but I was trying
All
to
right.
play a game.
So
on the back.
for those who are watching the stream, welcome back to the stream. Hopefully, you can get some clips from the rest of the podcast.
Thank you, everyone.
Post on
Thank
your
you.
socials. Sorry, folks. Obviously, you can tell we're having technical difficulties. It's really just the Wi-Fi here. All right.
Let's get through this.
Devin Singletary.
Team of world base, we're glad.
Yeah, Devin Singletary. I don't really think either of these two make a huge difference to the Texans. They're still going to be a bottom tier team in the league. Fair.
Yeah, poverty franchise.
Okay. Damian Harris, 1 year, 1.7 of the Bills. This kind of hurt me.
I bet it did. It's a good pick.
This did not hurt me. I really like Damian Harris, but
I wish he didn't go to the Bills, dude. Like, that's your division rival.
it's
You're
a
giving up-
business,
you're giving
man.
up whatever
Money,
you want.
money talks, man. Money
That's right.
talks.
And it makes the Bills more dangerous for sure. I mean, not that they were already dangerous.
Really, Damian Harris makes them that much more dangerous.
I mean, you have James Cook and Damian Harris now. I think it's a pretty good one too.
You think Damian Harris is that good?
No.
I mean, it's a pretty
He's
good
one
one.
star, but,
It's a
like-
pretty good one too.
Is Damian? I want to ask you. Is Damian Harris okay?
It's going to be similar to what you have with him and
Is
Ramon.
Damian Harris a top 20 running back in the NFL?
I'd have him outside the top 20.
Is he a top 32 running back?
He could be an RB1 on a team,
Like a really bad team?
probably.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to see because I think Damian Harris is effective, but injury problems also with him
True.
since college.
True. Anyone else have any thoughts to add on the Damian Harris?
No.
No? Okay. Elijah Moore traded the Browns for a second round pick. So this is the last NFL free agent signing we're gonna talk about. I really like this move for the Browns. I think Elijah Moore is a very much underrated receiver, and I think he's just been in an offense that has been struggling.
That has no quarterback.
Obviously having Zach Wilson did not help him at all. I feel bad for Elijah Moore. I saw a ton of clips today on Instagram of just atrocious throws to Elijah Moore from Zach Wilson, that were just 3 feet in front of him or, 2 feet over his head, or it was just atrocious. So I think, you put him with Deshaun, I think he's a better receiver than people think he is, than people give him credit for, because he's been in a system that hasn't been good. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I
I
think it's a
think
good pickup.
Deshaun Watson can have a little bit of a bounce back year, and I think that
I agree with
I
that.
feel like Elijah Moore could be effective with him.
Yeah,
Because
and
I mean, obviously Deshaun's had obviously the off the field issues, but whenever he was playing with the Texans, I mean, he was a top quarterback. So
yeah, I think they'll complement each other pretty well. All right, so I know I think we're all ready. You want to take out about that?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good.
It's
It's all good.
I'm just trying to speed things up here.
World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, let's talk about the World Baseball Classic now that we're through all the NFL free agent signings. All right, we are going to acknowledge that Ben was right in his pick. Team Japan won the World Baseball Classic final.
Without losing a game.
Yeah, they did not lose a game. So let's talk about the viewership on that final game. It included 97.4% of Japanese TVs.
I was watching.
So, I mean, that is just insane. You think about it's almost 100% of the country is watching the game.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. I've really never heard of that in any sporting event before. Almost 100% of an entire country watching one game. That's unprecedented.
And this is baseball too.
That's
That's pretty
unprecedented.
awesome.
Baseball,
That's
which is
pretty
supposed to be a dying sport. No, but there's 97.4% of an entire country watching.
It's a good.
So it peaked at 6.5 million and averaged 4.48 million viewers on Fox. And this was the mostly US broadcast. This was the US broadcast. So I think that's a little misleading. I bet it was more in Asia and Japan, of course. If 97.4% of the country, what's the population of Japan? Can you look it up for me?
Yeah, I got you.
Just for reference. But it was still a record for the WBC for
Yeah.
viewership here.
69%.
125 million.
125 million. Yeah, so in Japan, basically 122 million of the 125 million were watching, roughly. I don't know if
Exactly.
the percentage worked out right, but I mean, so obviously, the Japanese broadcast, the Asian broadcast, certainly had a lot more viewers, but the U.S. broadcast still did record numbers, which is very good. And to me, it just signals that people are finally taking the World Baseball Classic seriously.
It was exciting, dude. It's fun.
This has to be one of
It
the
was
biggest
exciting.
sporting events.
That was awesome.
I think
It was really fun tournament.
I think-
It's like one of my favorite things as a I guess a young baseball player was the Little League World Series, and to see that on the stage of professionals,
yeah,
it
That's
was
what this
sick.
is. That's actually a really good
what I'm
It's
comparison.
saying.
just like
sick.
the Olympics. It's just like the World Cup. It's just fun to see the best athletes from your country.
From your
I-
country representing.
I was
your
just
country.
about to have
Like,
the take of
seeing Mike Trout represent Team USA.
and then face off against Shohei Ohtani, who were their teammates.
wait, how about we get into that?
Well,
We're gonna
according
get-
to Bad
we're gonna
Dog
get into
Russo,
that
they
in a second.
suck, but whatever.
They suck.
We're gonna get. We're gonna
Mike
get.
Trout-
Mike Trout's there.
Listen,
Only
listen,
second
listen,
every
listen,
at-bat.
listen. We're gonna
What?
get into that in a second.
No.
I have one.
Shush.
I have one take to get out before we get into the Mike Trout Shohei Ohtani stuff. So I think that Hammy made comp to the World Cup. I think that this World Baseball Classic is the start of the trend you see to where it grows to a World Cup level.
I mean, I
I
wouldn't
like
doubt
that.
it. I like it.
I like that.
I like it.
I like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
what it started in 2006, right? Go ahead.
Can I say one thing? My
Yeah.
my NCAA bracket right now is 97% correct.
Can we talk about March Madness when we talk about March
I
Madness?
just wanted to say that real
You
quick.
just like-
Okay.
This
Okay,
happens
Lo.
every year.
Okay,
I
easy
literally watch
pickings.
the most college basketball on the planet, and I just can't pick a game right. So whatever.
Okay.
Also, never mind. I will get to it when we talk.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we talk about March Madness. Okay.
Yeah.
The U.S. viewership, going back to that, was up 69% from the 2017 finals. So clearly,
What was
even
that number again?
69%. I swear to God. I swear to God, this is the right number.
No, it's just I didn't know what the number was.
He didn't
Um,
hear you, dude. What?
Yeah, why do you have to make
It's a
it
big
so
deal.
weird like that, bro?
Nothing.
That's
Um, So I think this, very much indicates that it's becoming more important, not just in the rest of the world, but in the U.S. too. I think a lot more people were tuning into this than had in previous World Baseball Classics. I think it's good for the sport. It's very, very good for the sport. You get exposure, and it shows that the sport still matters. You know what I mean? It shows that the sport still matters. And just to recap, this is actually a good transition. Just to recap some of the stuff that was being talked about during the WBC with the Edwin Diaz injury. When
That's
that
funny as
happened,
hell. What is he doing?
there were a lot of people trying to say, "Oh, the World Baseball Classic doesn't matter. These are just exhibition games. Why are these pro guys risking injury playing in them?" And it was mostly started by Mets fans. Sorry, Mets fans, but it
Yeah,
was mostly
if
started by Mets
if
fans.
you say that
You're insane.
bullshit, absolute bullshit.
You're insane.
And like, it's just not true. It's just not
not.
true because you have the number right there. 97.4% of an entire country was watching one game.
It does not.
Of course, it's important. Do you know how important it is for the international players and even for the U.S. players? There were tons of quotes from the U.S. players saying like, "This is one of the most special home runs I've ever hit in my entire life," or "This is one of the most
Trey
special
Turner.
games I've." Yeah, Trey Turner. "This is one of the most special games I've pitched in."
He
in
said
my
it was
entire
like
life."
playing in the World Series.
Yeah, it should be like playing in the World Series because it is like playing in the World Series. And just to back that up, it's much more watched in other countries. Japan versus Korea was 55+ million viewers. Japan versus Italy was 62.5 million viewers, which was the most watched World Series game in 1980 was 54.5 million viewers. So so comparatively, the World Baseball Classic games are getting more viewers than any World Series game. So obviously it matters. Like to anybody online who's saying it doesn't matter,
You're a bunch of
You're an
jabronis.
idiot.
You're jabronis.
You're a
You
casual.
don't know baseball.
and
I just want to
You're
say
a
I
casual.
saw a post. I don't know who posted it. I want to say it was ESPN or something. It was Francisco Lindor saying, I know Mets fans are like heartbroken right now over Edwin Diaz obviously missing season as he's probably the best closer in baseball. But he said those games mean more to him than like regular season games do.
Yeah, 100%.
Like those games meant
Which makes
so much
sense.
to
I mean,
every single player.
you're representing your country, you're representing your heritage. It's not like yeah, you get paid, a lot of money to go play for a team, but intrinsically, unless you spend like a long time in the city that you're playing in, do you really care as much about them as your home country if you're
No,
an international
exactly.
player? No.
I mean, look how much fun every single player had. I feel like every player, like Mike Trout said, like, oh, we lost it. He's like, but I would do that again in a heartbeat.
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
these guys really loved that, and it made baseball really fun for them again.
I think you
I
should have
love
this. I'm sorry, Hammy. I've been talking a lot. You can go.
Way to go. Sorry.
I think my favorite game probably from the tournament was Puerto Rico and the Dominican in
yeah.
Miami.
That
That
a good
was
game.
so much fun. Just like those two countries. I think another big thing is the fans.
The fan bases are so
The
passionate.
fans are so good with this.
And I think that's why it is
It sucks
special.
that it's every 4 years. I really
Yeah.
want
It should be
every
every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
I would
should be every
love
2
that.
Every
years.
2 years,
Love
or even like what soccer does. So what soccer does is they'll have like Euros. So the Euros are every 4 years, and the World Cup's every 4 years. So stuff like that happens every 2 years. Do like a thing where like, I don't know, you could have like America play like Canada, Mexico, and like some Central and South American
regions?
teams. regional, and then have like Asian countries play European countries or something like
Yeah.
that. And do like intercontinental battles like every couple
Yeah,
of
that
years,
makes
and then
sense.
the World Baseball
Yeah,
Classic.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
And allow it so pitchers can throw. It's in a lot of their contracts that they don't want them to play,
I
don't
was
want
just
them
about
to
to
throw.
transition over to that.
But they should also, it's a thing, we need to figure out a set time when this tournament should be. 'Cause sometimes it's in November, sometimes it's in March. I feel like it needs to be right after the season, like a couple weeks after the season, so like October,
What?
Can
They're
I
in like
counter that?
prime playing.
late October.
I think it puts some guys at a disadvantage because they're going to be burned out from the playoffs versus guys that have had rest for the whole month of October and can
Well,
just come in.
doesn't
throw.
mean,
Well, you have to
like,
remember, like
2 days
guys,
later.
guys from the Czech, guys from Israel, not all these guys
They're
are,
like teachers and shit.
not all these guys are professional baseball
No, I
players.
know, but I'm saying for the MLB professionals.
No, I understand that, but like, when else are you gonna do it? You're gonna take a, I mean, it's not like.
It worked out good enough during the spring training. I mean, yes, it takes away from spring training like to an extent, but at the same time,
But
it's
you're
not like
you're doing this every 4 years. It's not taking that much from spring training.
yeah, exactly.
They played
That-
the first couple games, played the World Baseball Classic, and now they're finishing their last.
That and they're still competing in arguably
Better
more
competition.
competitive games
You
than
are,
spring
'cause,
training.
yeah.
So they're getting ready, at least equally, if not, to a higher degree than they would in spring training. So I like keeping it in March, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, honestly, this is my opinion. I like it before the season because I feel like with how much viewership came to the World Baseball Classic, it's setting the actual MLB season up for a lot more success. Because
I agree with
I
this.
love baseball again. This is really fun to watch. I want to watch more.
It was the most fun I've
I
had
agree with
watching
this.
baseball. in a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
100%.
Me
I mean,
too.
us sitting in the room, like getting hyped, like there was
We were
like 10
having
of us.
so
Like,
much
that
fun.
was-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people were more locked in than others.
Yeah.
But
So
Which is okay.
I want to go back to the a point that Hammy brought up about the pitchers in the World Baseball Classic. So a lot of people were complaining that the top pitchers in the United States did not choose to participate in the WBC. Only one of the top 20 pitchers in WAR, which is the stat that measures basically how valuable you are as a baseball player, to any of those who don't know, last year was on the team, and that was Daniel Bard.
and he
Daniel Bard, he's a good pitcher, but he's not like
he had the yips at him.
he's not like
I was at the game he had yips. I was at the game he had yips in Boston.
Oh, you were.
Yep, I was at the game when he just could not, like, he couldn't hit
Because
anything.
this year, dude, oh my goodness, his sinker could not throw a strike. His slider, what team was that against? Was it?
He played for the
I don't remember.
Rockies.
He
right?
played
No,
for
he
the
did. I'm
Rockies.
talking about in the World
Yeah.
Baseball Classic.
I don't remember. But I remember when he got,
Yeah, no, I did see that.
I
but
remember
don't
when he
remember.
got the original yips, and this is like a decade ago. He had like,
No, I remember.
You know
that
what
too.
I'm- yeah.
Yeah, because he used to play for the.
You
He used to play
remember
for the
that?
Red Sox. Well, yeah, he used to play for the Red Sox.
he was supposed to be a stud, and then one game he could just not, like, he literally,
And then it was downhill.
he threw the ball like in the dugout.
And that's why he basically left the MLB, right? He
And
took a time off
incredible,
because of the
incredible
injuries.
comeback story. He's a very good pitcher now, but he's not someone who's gonna, get you completely over the hump to, winning,
Still in-
winning
It
a
was a
title.
quarterfinal matchup against Venezuela.
Right, so he was not great in that game. But the point is not about Daniel Bard. The point is he was one of the only top 20 pitchers in WAR that participated in the tournament. And, like we were alluding to last week, they need to put it in these guys' contracts, or guys' agents need to advocate for their players that they want to play in the WBC. Teams are going to have to be okay with that. And even Manfred has said now, Rob Manfred, commissioner of the MLB, has said, I want more of the top pitchers in.
And I think
The
if they did
tournament
have
is-
more top pitchers, they would have won that.
They would have
It's-
won pretty
It's
easily.
Very
It's very
easily.
possible. It's very possible.
They
So
lost by a run, and Japan
I think-
put out the
I would
best roster
love-
they possibly could have put out.
I think
I would love to see Jacob DeGrom, Max
Yeah.
Scherzer, Garrett Cole,
Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander, Max Fried,
I
some
think
of these big and even bullpen guys.
yeah,
I want to see
You could
like
even throw starters in the bullpen at this point. You
yeah.
could even throw like starters
I mean,
in the bullpen.
exactly.
Teams just have to
Why
be
not?
willing to work with guys on this and agree in their contract when they sign them that this is going to be part of the deal now. And if teams don't do that going forward, we're going to see the same trend where not a lot of the top pitchers are going to join this amazing event because they have liability clauses and, money, a lot of money on the line. That's really what it comes down to is just money. And I think teams really need to be open to working with these players in order to make this event for the U.S. what it really, I hope it becomes, which is, something like the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for players, it should come down to a personal whatever they want to do. I mean, I don't think you should have a contract that says you're prohibited from playing the World Baseball Classic.
Right,
It should come down to
exactly.
the player. If the player feels comfortable and wants, maybe if you're Jacob deGrom, have a history of being hurt, maybe you don't. But some of these, like Max Scherzer, could fucking pitch with 2 broken arms. Like, that dude's tough. Like
It's a player's
with
choice.
how with hit, I don't even know how to. He kind of seems crazy when he pitches, but the amount of intensity and
Max.
he would bring for the world.
Could you imagine if he had pitched in the final?
unbelievable?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
that would have been so fun to watch.
Yes. It would.
Okay, just
Let's get to March.
no. Just so you guys know, we have 10 minutes left. We're probably gonna have to do a part 2.
Let's
So
get to March Madness.
it's fine, but I want to talk about before we talk about March Madness. I want to talk about the Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani stuff that you were alluding to earlier. So, I think this was really the perfect ending that you could have asked for in this game. I mean, the matchup was
If fucking Mike Trout would have hit a home run, then it would have been perfect.
right, but from a U.S. fan's perspective. But what I'm saying is for the sport of baseball, like having,
Yeah, those two.
let's say,
Free.
I'm going to say the 2 best players in baseball. They're the 2 best players in
They are,
baseball facing off
I
against
mean,
each
maybe
other.
Aaron Judge, but
I mean, basically, we'll call it the 2 best players facing off against each other is really good for you. Top to 9, 2 outs, full count. Like that is the situation that every kid dreams of, right? But instead of it being in a World Series, it was the WBC. But I think this was very good for the sport. And to anyone who said it didn't matter, you're an idiot.
you're a fucking jabroni.
It's
You're a
jabroni.
jabroni.
Eric Sims says it best.
let's-
You're a fucking jabroni.
Mind your
Hey,
business. You're jabroni.
Let's keep the language.
Okay, little guy.
Let's keep the language.
Okay,
like,
okay, tough guy.
relax,
Okay, easy
keep it honest.
pickings.
relax.
Okay, easy pickings.
By the way,
Relax.
I gotta give a shout out to, and I don't like that Team Japan won. Obviously, I want my country to win, but I gotta give a shout out to that pitch sequence from Shohei. I mean, he goes 100 down the middle. He goes 102.
2 pitches.
102 he throws in the dirt, and then he just throws what was the slider, like 89? 89, and it was the
The
most
movement was
disgusting
gross.
slider I've seen.
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, these 2 iconic players, if this ends in a walk, like
That
I really
that
thought,
would've been
and I
so
said it.
funny.
I remember saying, I remember telling Ryan, our friend Ryan. I remember telling for the it sounds like him. I thought that they were gonna throw. I thought he was gonna go fastball and just try to blow it by him
he
again.
should have.
Yeah.
I wish he did.
Because
would've got it.
if he tried to, I think he.
But
was
I think he
connected.
knew that Trout was expecting that,
That's exactly why he did it.
Yeah.
which is why he threw the slider.
He wanted to win.
I think that matchup certainly drew, more eyes. I think the peak of the U.S. viewership was in like the last 15 minutes of the game.
Just to
So
watch Mike Trout, who strikes out all the time.
according to Christopher Russo, which was just dead wrong.
Guys, the
He's
dumbest.
an
dead
idiot.
wrong.
He's an idiot.
But we're not.
You should never be on a
We're
loud.
not-
Larry Bird's the top 5 3-point shooter of all time.
Hey, we're not gonna diss on him.
shakes it all the time.
We're not gonna diss on him too much. We don't want to start like internet beef, but
With him,
I'm down, dog. I
100%.
am
What are you
down.
talking about?
He is the biggest idiot.
I
on the
don't think
planet.
that would be good for our rep. But
He wants to talk like an
Everything's
idiot.
about the same like this guy, dude.
I
need to start over.
all right, relax.
I don't think Matt Dog
Relax.
Bruce is gonna care what we say either.
No, true.
He's
You
the
probably
yeah,
won't even see
he'll
this,
never
but-
hate to be on TV. So
But all right, so I think we're probably good on the World Baseball Classic unless you guys have anything to add.
Congrats to Team
Yeah.
Japan. on
Congrats to
the
Team Japan.
I just want to mention it. Some of my heritage. I am part Japanese.
Oh yeah, Ben,
And I picked Japan to win it all, so-
Shout out to Japan.
Couldn't have
Okay.
been better.
Good pick.
Good pick. Good pick.
I
I
told you
had
that
it
pitch
close
was
to
out.
that. Close.
Yeah, you were close.
Right
Yeah.
there.
I was not.
Yeah, me and Hammy were off.
But you guys had us. I mean, going in.
Going in, they were the most
anticipated.
anticipated team. Actually, okay, this is this is another thing that I
Also, shout out to Team Cuba. You guys played really well.
Team Mexico too.
Team Cuba.
Oh, Mexico.
Team Mexico
I
was
applaud
really good.
Mexico. Randy Arozarena. He's him.
Yeah, he was really good.
Can't wait
I-
for him to do that to
so,
the Red Sox.
The last bullet I have about the WBC was teams
Him
that
and
we
Wander Franco, man.
teams that we would have wanted to see in the final to two teams that were in it and weren't. I would say Mexico would be one of them for me. And then, would you guys agree with that or disagree with
No,
that?
I would want to say Dominican Puerto Rico final.
That's what I
Dominican
Of course,
Puerto Rico.
yes.
That's literally what I was about to say.
For me, I would have. I mean, I wish that they didn't play, but I wanted to see Venezuela play.
I was gonna say Mexico, Venezuela, but I mean,
Also, if Altuve doesn't get hurt.
If Altuve doesn't get hurt, and if you don't give up a grand slam in the 8th inning,
Yeah.
yeah,
It'd be a different story.
but it was that damn pitcher. What did he do? Walk 2 batters, hit a guy, or gave up a hit.
yeah.
Little blooper.
Shout out to Trey Turner also.
Yeah, Trey
Fantastic
Trey
tournament.
Turner went
Unbelievable,
off,
dude.
went
He
absolutely
went
off.
out of his mind.
Absolute
You
stud.
got to be a little bit worried if he does that this regular season.
Yeah,
Hey, no.
He hit a home run.
You see what happened? Reese Hoskins tore his ACL.
I did see that.
So he's out. Bryce Harper's out.
Still got Trey Turner.
we'll see.
Kyle
We'll see.
Schwarber.
Okay.
Cool.
And by the way,
Anyway,
Kyle Schwarber, we were watching the game, and Kyle Schwarber literally hit 4 home runs in his
Foul.
at bat.
Yeah.
Foul
And then
before he
finally-
actually
and
hit
then
the
he-
shot.
Dude, I thought he was gonna hit like their warning shot.
That was too obvious. Like him hitting
that was reminiscent
just
to me
made
of like
too
an
much
old David Ortiz at bat in the playoffs, where he would just hit like a couple of foul bombs and then just
Remind me of, like,
absolutely take one.
Alex Rodriguez back in the day for the Yankees.
Yeah, no, but I knew you were gonna. Whatever.
I was joking.
Whatever.
Or
But
I'll give credit
anyway,
to Ortiz. He's greatest,
all of-
most clutch hitter of all time.
All of that to say, the World Baseball Classic was an incredible experience, a huge positive for the league, and I can't wait to see
It was huge.
how the next one plays out going forward. I'm excited for 2026. We're gonna be seniors. That's gonna be fun.
We should go.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
You know what?
Go to
Honestly,
Miami.
if we don't have anything to do, I'm so down.
Baseball, dude.
Depends what time of year it is, though.
Yeah, it
go
does
back or
depend
let's
on
go.
the
Yeah.
year.
I'll
Yes.
change it.
100%.
All right.
Go to
So
Miami. Actually, we gotta be careful we take you. to
Yeah,
Miami.
with this guy.
With-
I can't take him anywhere.
with 5
Oh,
minutes
man,
left in our time before the audio cuts out, do you guys want to start March Madness or do you want to end it here and start a new one?
Let's just start it.
So I know when.
Let's do it.
Start a new one. All right, folks. Thank you for listening to part 1 of episode 6, right? Of
Part two.
Yeah.
Part 2 coming up. Take a listen. Part 2.
So what I just saw, I got a notification.
Yeah, it was like
Only 4.1% of brackets
Oh,
had
no.
Connecticut and Kansas State making
No,
Final
no,
Four,
no, no, no.
and I was one of them.
Please.
you have to make it the final 4.
Or
the Elite Eight.
Oh, yes. Okay. Save.
What was that?
The audio didn't. load
My
for a second.
bracket's 99% right.
You're in the 99 percentile. That's fucking insane, man.
I'm in the top 230.
Okay, guys. While we're off the
230 people.
While we're off the
230,000.
audio, I felt like we spread a little too much in that one.
Jonah Bowdy Braden is
Stop.
in the top.
Particularly-
Jonah
no, I'm
Bowdy's in the
serious.
top 80 for his bracket right now.
Jonah Bowdy?
Top 80 in the world. This kid's never watched basketball in his life. Top 80 right now.
How do you know that?
Cause the guy posted his dad posted on Facebook.
Crazy.
Yeah, what?
Guys,
I mean-
I'm actually kind of serious though. Like, can we just like keep this?
Stop.
down?
Stop.
They swore 3 times.
I said
It was
Three
like
words.
10 times.
Stop.
I said people were fucking jabronis. Cause you want to say Mike Trout's overrated?
I know. I
Fuck
know.
right.
I know. Like, I know
Nobody
we're
cares.
passionate about that topic.
Nobody
I just-
fucking watched that. Like, what are you talking about? Stop.
Nobody cares.
If we blow up, I don't want it to come back and blow
That
up.
would be good. How would us
Oh, they're gonna go
swearing,
back to our
bro?
third or sixth.
Oh my
episode.
God, they
They
swore.
said fucking
They said fucking jabronis. We
It's just a little unprofessional. That's all.
No, it's not.
It's a little
It's
Why,
unprofessional.
why do you think this is like the most professional podcast?
It's not okay. Look, I just want it to have a little degree of professionalism.
So swear that doesn't.
We do have a. We
This
do have
kid's a fucking idiot.
No, to where
We do have a degree of professionalism.
listen,
What
to-
are you talking about?
to where like if I was to say like my future reports like, oh yeah, I did a podcast like
and
you
then
know,
you said
should
the
go
F.
listen
He's
to
gonna be
the
like, I'm not
podcast."
gonna hire you because you said fucking jabroni.
Because your co-host said fucking jabroni.
All right, let's get the second thing.
Get
on the
outta
board.
here.
Let's get the second thing. on
Get
the
outta
board.
Come on, dude.
It's not. It's just embarrassing. It's like
It's not embarrassing.
It's how you present yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I present myself fucking fine, bro. Fine. Perfectly fine. The hell are you talking about?
Let me just add the description and then we'll start up part 2.
You know what's crazy? I'm in the 99 percentile. My bracket has Colgate making it to the Sweet 16 and
What do you have as your final four?
Tennessee and Maryland and Houston and UConn. The thing was, I think some of these randomly generated. I
Is it
don't
on
think
ESPN?
because I would have picked Alabama making it to the Final
Is it on
Four.
ESPN?
Yeah.
Huh, that's weird.
And then yeah, like it had Vermont beating Marquette when I literally talked about how he said that and I was like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
And then it actually had Vermont making it to the round 32. So I don't know why some of my brackets fucked. My bracket would be a lot better if some of these games weren't fucked up.
That's crazy, man.
It's just me.
Even like
really hot.
it picked
I
Drake.
said it earlier.
I did not pick Drake over Miami or Kent State over Indiana. So I don't know. Are Maryland like really
Nice.
Maryland making it to the
Really?
Maryland making it to the Final Four? Like
Okay.
so fucking great. Princeton is impressive.
They played really well.
All right.
That's crazy.
I published that part. Let's get going on part 2.
Let's finish this up, man.
All right, folks, welcome back to
Yeah,
episode
getting
6
started
of Three Bros and a Buddy, part 2. I'm your host. I had to run it back.
No, you didn't do
I had to run it
You
back.
didn't even do it.
I didn't. I thought I did.
No, you really said
No.
part 2.
You gotta do
part 2.
Part 2.
There we go.
We'll clip that. Anyway, I'm your host, Paul Hine, and here are my co-hosts with me, Braden Van Karen and Drew Hamilton. So we talked about NFL free agents and World Baseball Classic in our last podcast, and now let's move on to our last topic of the day, March Madness. So I'll let you guys start with this because I think you guys have been following it a little more closely than I have. So, Hammy, you want to go first?
Yeah, it's been a great tournament so far. I am probably the biggest college basketball fan here, and yet
Yes.
again, I could never win a bracket challenge. So there you go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We know most. Just it's the tournament's great. It's been really fantastic this year. 2 1 seeds have been knocked off. Obviously, shout out to Fairleigh Dickinson knocking off Purdue. The smallest team in the country beat Zach Edey, who was a giant. And they did a fantastic. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say a fantastic job. He still had 27 in that game, but they did a good job of preventing him from getting the ball late in the game. Shout out to them. Shout out to Tobin Anderson. He's got the job at Iona now, so that's obviously good for him. He was coaching in Division III gyms, Division II and Division III gyms a year ago, and now he's at a mid-major in Division
Biggest
I.
upset in history.
Biggest upset. Shout out to Arkansas. Arkansas finally put it together. They played really well against Kansas. Another couple good teams that have put it together is Crane has been very good.
Yes.
Crane was the team I
You
talked
picked
about.
them for
Crane was the
Final
team.
Four.
Was the team I talked about. And UConn has also played very
Very
good
impressive.
basketball, and that doesn't.
What are they up by right now?
They
They
won
won by
23.
almost. Yeah,
They just won.
yeah. They
beat
played
Arkansas.
very good basketball, and up until this point, Michigan State had played really well. They just lost tonight.
Kansas State.
Kansas State has also played
Playing
very well.
fantastic.
The 2 guards there, Johnson and Norwell, have been very good. Guard play wins in this tournament, so they've been good. My team's out. Duke lost to Tennessee. Tennessee played very good defensively, and they had a kid go off for 27. Who averaged like 9 a game. So there's not much you can do.
Speaking of Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, and Kentucky are not in the Sweet 16. This is the first time in over 20 years. Right?
Yeah. Well, UNC didn't make the tournament. Poverty school, by the way.
Yeah.
And Kansas and Kentucky did not make it. The Blue Bloods are not in it, and I think UConn. I want to say UConn and Michigan State are the only teams from the 2000s left in the tournament that have won
Wow.
a national title.
So a lot of turnover.
So it's
Shabazz
gonna be-
Napier time with UConn.
Shabazz
And
Napier.
Kemba Walker.
And
too.
Kemba.
Don't be surprised if UConn wins it.
I would not be surprised. I think UConn's played
They are phenomenal.
very good basketball.
Phenomenal.
They're going to play either UCLA or Gonzaga, and I like
I got
them.
you. So.
I like them in that match. That's not a terrible pick. But I think some other teams to look out for. Houston has played their best basketball yet. Alabama, obviously, very good offensively, and Texas as well. I think those are the teams left that I really like to win the national title. I still have my national title pick in Texas, so that's not out of the woods yet. But what do you got going? What do you think about this tournament so far? And what do you got left?
So basically, I had Michigan State in a Final Four, and they happened to lose today, so that's too bad. But I got UCLA, and they're still yet to play Gonzaga, but I did get UConn right, and then I have Tennessee making a Final Four as well. Or is it the Elite Eight?
I think
It's
the Elite Eight, 'cause they're in the same
Yeah,
region, yeah.
Elite Eight, I mean. So I'm hoping they can pull out with that, get a win.
Yeah, they'll be able to. I think they'll have an easy time. They're playing Florida Atlantic right now, so I think they'll have an easy time with that.
But then, other than that, I mean, I had Alabama, Houston, but they're still in. So, for the most part, bracket's still looking good. But
That's good. That's good.
Ben?
want to go?
I mean, yeah, obviously my pick of Kansas was wrong, but I think UConn definitely could. I mean, out of the teams left,
They have played the best basketball the last.
By
yeah,
far,
I might say from this one on, I'm taking UConn to win it all.
It's not a terrible pick.
It's not a terrible pick.
Ben?
So just want to start out with saying my bracket is in the 99% percentile right now.
You might win a what is the trip that you win? Don't you win like a trip to Hawaii or something like that?
Something, but also with the second chance bracket, I have my bracket is fine with that.
If you want a trip to Hawaii, we're going.
I don't well, no shit, dude.
I don't know if
No,
you're going.
we're going.
You're going. All of us are going.
So my
This guy,
bracket
dude.
is doing very well. My pick Houston's still obviously going, and they're going to be playing Miami tomorrow, which I think they should win that game. I think Houston's, other than Alabama's, probably the best team in the country. Maybe not the hottest, but the best. I think.
That's a very interesting matchup. They're two polar opposites. Houston's very good defensively. Miami likes to play fast. And if you want to see a really good guard, Isaiah Wan is fantastic for Miami. So I think he's going to pull some drums, but I think Houston's going to be able to balance that out with good defense.
Yep.
But yeah, we got some good matchups to go in the Sweet 16. I think tomorrow is better than today, I would say. I think Michigan State, Kansas State was probably the best game you're going to get today. Actually, Gonzaga and UCLA play tonight.
UCLA.
That will be a very good game. A rematch of the 2021 Final Four, where Gonzaga hit the crazy
Jalen
shot. It sucks. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's been a very good tournament. Been a huge success. I think numbers wise,
It has been a huge success. So just to mention some of the viewership numbers on Saturday night, this was Saturday night last week, the NCAA announced a total audience delivery of 9.2 million viewers across CBS, TBS, TNT, True TV, and March Madness Live this was the first round, sorry. So
correct.
So not last Saturday. I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I didn't see anything for Saturday. I looked quick. I didn't see anything for Saturday.
We didn't see any numbers either for last weekend, but for the first round of the NCAA tournament on Thursday and Friday, this would be 2 weeks ago, making it the most watched first round in the tournament's history, which, March Madness, we already talked about, is 90% of the NCAA's revenue. So I can't imagine if they're getting the most viewers for the first round in history right now, how much money they're raking in. Obviously, we'll understand that after, but, it's going to be a huge number. And just to talk a little bit about, I know we talk a lot about the men's side of the tournament, but just to mention the women's side, the NCAA women's tournament enjoyed a huge viewership boost in 2023, according to ESPN. The network reported that 257,000 average viewers watched the first round of that tournament, which was a 27% increase from 2022, and the 875 million minutes watched set a record for ESPN. So clearly, the women's tournament is growing, which is really good for them, because I saw a stat, I think it was about a month ago, on I think it was Sports Business Journal, where women's sports makes like 20% of the total money made by all sports. So 80% is made by men's sports and 20% is made by women's sports. So, March Madness, the men's bracket, makes a lot of money. think the growth of the women's bracket, you'll see them start to make more money too. And I think people are starting to be more interested in women's sports in general.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that.
I think, yeah.
You
I
guys
think the
have
big
any-
issue with the women's college basketball is like there was a long time where it was just UConn not losing. They won every year.
Yeah,
It seems like it's like the same four teams. I think South
Every year,
Carolina,
yeah.
Mississippi State, UConn. Like it seems like there's like the
Northern
diff- yeah, the difference between like the 1 and 3 seeds, a 40-point game, you know. But I think that even with the men's side now too, like you're seeing more upsets, 2 seeds,
It's a lot of
15 seeds.
parity. There's a lot
I mean,
of
look at
parity.
Princeton right now.
It's a
15
very good thing for the sport.
I think it's great,
I love
yeah.
upsets.
15 seed Princeton has a chance to make the Elite Eight. I mean,
Look at St. Peter's last year. Look at Oral
St.
Roberts a
look at
couple
Oral
years
Roberts,
ago. Yeah, you know these.
Florida
This is-
Golf Cup,
16
a couple
seeds
years
beating
ago.
1 seeds. You know, like I think upsets are becoming more normal.
UMBC.
yeah.
So, and I just want to say shout out Kansas State, Keontae Johnson. He had an incident with Florida a couple years ago where he collapsed on the floor.
Oh.
Wasn't sure if he's going to be able to play basketball again. Now he's helping lead his team, you know,
I saw that
to
story.
the Elite Eight. Which
And
is good for
Norwell,
him.
fantastic
God
man,
bless him.
tiny little guard man. Also, John Calipari disrespecting him, saying the little dude hit a 3. If you're a Kentucky fan, you guys are in trouble
Take
because
that out.
they can't win. Kentucky's had a hard time winning, and it's just a good thing to see parity in the sport. Even though I like a team, obviously that's gets the best recruits every year, it's always good to see schools like Arkansas. I don't know if you guys see, but their head coach always takes the shirt off after they win a big
Yeah,
game. Eric
yeah.
Musselman, he's great.
I
It's-
love the energy he brings.
it's great to see Alabama doing well. That's a really interesting. I like Nate Oates. I don't really like that team, obviously, because of stuff going around them. Houston being a prominent program again. Obviously, Gonzaga, UCLA being back. This is a very good thing for the sport. It's very Creighton. I like Coach McDermott there. Obviously, Doug McDermott's dad coaches them. So obviously, it's a very good thing. And then obviously seeing the 15 seed Princeton. I mean, it's just always good to see it. A great tournament again. It's those 4 days are probably some of my favorite 4 days in all of sports. Just literally sitting on a computer and then having your television and then a phone watching 4 different games is awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Dude, we got to set up like I don't even know.
You want to live stream the final? Do you guys want to live stream the final?
We can let's just watch it at 110 like we did.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fun. We
Well,
don't
what I'm
have to
saying,
stream.
next year, come March Madness time, we have to have like a setup or in like a room or something where we
Yeah.
have like multiple screens with the games.
To look into that.
Yeah, we
We'll
should
do
do
it.
that.
Mm.
Sure, anyway. So we'll have the biggest space.
We doing the
The suite, yeah.
All right. So do we have any more thoughts about the tournament, or are we kind of? I'm all good.
I think it's just a great thing, and
I'm excited for the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who ends up winning.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, for the folks listening, we'll keep you guys updated on what's going
Tennessee is currently up on FAU 15-8.
And shout out to FAU. Very good year for them. Shout out to them making the Sweet 16. I didn't think they were going to beat Memphis, but they beat Memphis. So shout out to them. Played very well.
All right. So unless anyone else has anything to add, thank you guys for listening to episode 6 of Three Bros and a Party. This is part 2. But as always, we appreciate your support and spread the word about us. Like, we're a small scale podcast and we would always appreciate the exposure. So
Exactly.
tell your friends to listen.
Thank you.
So thank you
you.
guys.
Peace out,
Have a
everyone.
good night.
Start spreading the news.
They're not gonna want to spread though because you're swearing.
There's too much